Hi lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Janera, and today I'm going to be reviewing Haus Lab's new Triclone Skin Tech Foundation, as well as their Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. So if you're interested in seeing the try-on, review, and wear test of these products, then keep on watching. Alright, so I already prepped my face using my Milk Pore Eclipse Mattifying Primer, so I just want to hop right into this new foundation from Haus Labs. This is their Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I did pick up the shade 425 Neutral, but before I swatch this shade, I want to read you guys a couple of these claims. This is a medium coverage, weightless clean foundation with fermented arnica that reduces redness, helps even the skin tone, and then also protects from environmental stress. It has medium coverage, a natural finish, has 51 different shades, and retails for $45. And let me show you guys this packaging. It's a glass bottle, and I actually really like the packaging of her products. I think she does a really nice job. Even though she does have 51 shades for this foundation, it was really hard to find my shade match, and I think that's because of the undertone. Normally with liquid foundations, I usually have an olive undertone, and that kind of pairs up with the warmer undertones, but then the way that she has it set up is that the olive undertone matches up with the cool undertones. So even though I do have an olive undertone, I decided not to go with the cooler undertone and decided to just go with the neutral, which is the 425. So I don't know if this is an exact match, but we'll see today. I'll compare it to a couple of other foundations that I have. This is the 425 Neutral with Haus Labs. Alright, so here are the swatch comparisons. This is the 425 Neutral from Haus Labs. This is Makeup Forever 4Y60. This is Hourglass's Ambient Soft Glow Foundation in 14.5 Warm. And then this last swatch is the NARS Soft Matte Complete in Macau. Alright, so based off the swatches, I think that the 425 Neutral from Haus Labs should work. It might come off a little bit lighter just because it has a neutral undertone and the other ones have a warmer undertone, but we'll see how this works out. Alright, so let's test out this shade. I'm going to be applying one pump to the right side of my face, and then I'll see how that looks, and then we'll add it to the other side. And this is what one pump looks like. It kind of has a watery formula, which makes sense why it says to shake it before using it. Alright, so this is the finish of the foundation. I think it actually is a pretty good shade match. It did come off a little bit light, like especially my forehead areas where I really saw that. But out of all of her shades, I do think that this is the closest. Also, the formula is pretty lightweight and it has a very pretty natural finish. I'm gonna go ahead and add another pump to the other side. And this is the final look of the foundation before I add any setting powder. It does have a natural finish, but it's coming off a little radiant to me, like a little shiny. Not too much, but I definitely do need to add some setting powder because I do have really oily skin and I want to make sure that this setting powder lasts really well throughout this wear test. The concealer that I'll be using is the Radiant Creamy Concealer from NARS in the shade Caramel. And I'm going to set under my eyes with my Laura Mercier setting powder in the shade Honey. And then I'm going to set the rest of my face with the same powder, but just in the shade Medium Deep. For contour, I'll be using One Size Beauty Made for Shade Trio palette in the shade Dark, and I'll be using this shade right here. And next I'll be using Haus Lab's new Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. I did pick up the shade 11. And this will be my first time trying out this formula, so I'll read you guys a couple of these claims. This is a cutting edge, clean bronzing gel powder that blurs and defines with a natural looking second skin finish. It also has fermented arnica oil, plant squalene, and it's talc free. It's also a vegan formula and retails for $38. I did pick up shade 11, and this is what this shade looks like, and I'll swatch it for you guys. Again, I really like her packaging. I think it's all super cute. I think I should have gone with shade 10. I think that 11 is a little too red, but it does still look nice. It's a really nice formula. And here's the close-up of the bronzer's finish. I'm gonna go off camera and finish the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back with the finished look for today, and I will get closer so we can see this finish. So far, I really do like this foundation and the bronzer. I do think for the foundation, it would have looked a lot better if it was a warmer undertone, and I think that shade 11 is a little too deep. I think shade 10 would have been perfect, but other than that, I really like these formulas. I'm very interested to see how they hold up throughout this wear test, so I'll see you guys in about 10 hours, and we'll see how these formulas hold up. All right, so I am back with the 10-hour update, and I'll get closer so that we can see how both formulas held up. Honestly, I really like both formulas. Like, they're very creamy, and I really like the bronzer formula in particular because it's very soft on the skin. Like, it truly does have a velvety texture to it, and I really like how even though the foundation has a creamy formula, it's still very lightweight, and I think that's because it has such a watery, thin texture to it, which is very comfortable on the skin. And I'm actually very impressed about how well this foundation has held up throughout this wear test. Like, after almost 11 hours, there's still not too much oil in my T-zone. Like, for my face to be pretty dry after 10 hours, like, that's super impressive. It's a very nice formula. It held up really well. I also really love that with her first launch of foundation and bronzer, there's an amazing shade range. Usually other companies have us choosing between 4 different shades, but with her line, there's 12 different shades to choose from, which is very impressive, especially because she just launched. And then there's also 51 different shades to choose from with her foundation. I do think that they need to work a little bit more on the undertones, just because I feel like the undertones are a little mixed match. But other than that, I do really like this shade range. Overall, this formula is very lightweight and feels very comfortable on the skin. And I also really like that it has a clean formula, and then because it lasted so well throughout this wear test, I definitely recommend it for those of us with oily and combination skin. So those are my final thoughts on Haus Labs' new foundation and bronzer. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about either of these products or if you're thinking about picking these up. And if you already picked up these products, feel free to let me know how they're working for you. Thank you guys for tuning in for another video. If you are new here, welcome, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.